Welcome back to Great Day Washington. Talking about money is sometimes a hard topic to tackle,
especially with our teens. So our guest has some tips on how parents and grandparents can talk to their high school students about securing a financial future. Joining us now is Roy Paul, who is the executive director of Sensibility. Roy, thanks for coming.
Good morning, literally.
Yes,
it is. Is this early for you?
It's very early.
Is it early? Oh, no. All right, why do you think most parents don't talk to their children enough about money and how to handle their finances?
Interesting question. You know, for us, we service a lot of low-income students. And for parents, it could be a very self-conscious conversation, especially if you don't have a lot of money yourself. So many of the conversations they are having with their kids are about what they can't buy, what they can't afford. And that's uncomfortable.
Do you feel like, I mean, we're talking about schools and education, it's the perfect opportunity to teach the kids. I remember in elementary school, we learned how to write checks and balance a checkbook and do all of that. Do you think that that should be something that's in the curriculum?
It is. I want to join your hot topics, by the way. I love all the segments. I have so much opinions. I want to give my opinion. But you know, it's been a long debate about why personal finance is not integrated in the curriculum. And at the end of the day, there's a lot of comments that people have about it, but school is the time when your kids are spending the most away from home. And they learn a lot of different things. They learn new languages, they learn new apps and technologies from their friends. Why aren't we taking the time to teach them about something that they're going to use for the rest of their lives? So what ends up happening is they end up learning it on their own, or they're, what they find out on the internet or elsewhere, or making some very bad decisions.
And you were saying that actually the students have asked for classes, like they want to learn. So how do we get those kind of classes or that kind of curriculum in the classroom?
Well, I think there's two approaches. One, the state legislatures around the country really have the ability to enact personal finance in the curriculum because they write the state legislation. And so there are some states that have gotten smarter about it, New Jersey, North Carolina, Florida, and saying we have to mandate personal finance in the curriculum. So you can do it legislatively, or you can have people in schools and nonprofit organizations infuse the curriculum themselves. Junior Achievement is the one organization that's national that does this, and we offer our curriculum free of charge to people who reach out as well. And so if you can't do it through the legislation, you can do it yourself, and there's nothing that precludes any school district from doing it.
It's good to know that those programs are out there and that information is provided. So when you're looking at high school students, how should they prepare financially? What would be some tips for parents and grandparents out there to help their kids?
Yeah, so preparing financially is one question, and then preparing for college is another.
Right.
So preparing financially, and this is the tip that I think anybody can use no matter what your age, is the 50-30-20 rule. And when you get a check, a lot of people say, well, what the heck do I do with it, right? I don't know what to spend on what. And we advise that you take 20% of every check that you receive and you just save it. You don't do anything with it. Okay. There are a lot of people who say you should have a rainy day fund for 3 months. We advise up to a year, especially in this economy. It can be tough if you ever lose your job to find another one. 50% on the things that you absolutely need, your rent, your car payment, and then 30% on things that you may want, going out for friends, traveling, taking vacations. And then preparing for college is really one of my pet peeves on two levels, because I can't tell you how many teenagers I talk to. And I say, raise your hand if you're going to college. And they raise their hand. And we've done a great job with sending young kids to college, and that's wonderful. Keep your hand up if you're taking out a student loan. Their hands are still up. And then I ask, tell me what your monthly payment's going to be in 4 years when you graduate. And they can't answer the questions. You can't take out a home loan and not know what the monthly payments are going to be. You certainly can't take out a car loan and not know what your monthly payments are going to be. Why is it legal in this country to have young people sign on the dotted line and essentially commit their entire careers and their lives to paying off a debt, and they don't know when they take out that loan what their monthly payment's going to be? And so if you know someone going to college and they're taking out a loan, ask them that question. If they don't know, get on them to make sure they find the answer. And then secondly, I can't tell you how many teenagers don't have a conversation with their parents about what the financial situation looks like. Hey, mom and dad, I'm about to go to college. This is a great opportunity for me. What does our situation look like? Can you help me with tuition? Are you paying it all? If you don't have that luxury, can you help me with maybe $400 or $500 a month, so that I know that even though I don't have my tuition paid for, I know that I don't have to get a second job, or maybe I do. You've got to have that conversation, because if you don't, you figure it out when it's too late.
Well, I know a lot of our colleagues, they talk about their student debt, and it's still maybe 10 years later after they've graduated.
Or longer.
Or longer. And I think for kids, you think, oh, college, I'm going to college, and it's no problem. I'll pay it off when I get a great job afterwards. But that might change their thinking a little bit, too. I mean, I want to go so far out of state and get away from home. But then you start thinking about how much it costs out of
reality.
state and the reality, and knowing that you have something in your backyard.
Yeah, and there's a lot of pressure and stigma with going to college too.
Yeah.
You know, you talked about the college admission scandal earlier. You know, Felicity Huffman wants a charity she can donate to. She can donate to Sensibility. But you know, where your kids go is a lot of pressure. You know, for their ability to get a good job. And let's face it, you know, state school versus private education. There's a lot of pressure to go to the top schools.
Right.
And I always tell young people, don't put that pressure on yourself. If you really can't afford it, go to a state school. Start off at a community college. There's really nothing wrong with that.
And sometimes you'll even flourish there
Exactly.
as well.
Kind of get off. Roy, thanks so very much.
Thank
Where
you.
can we find you?
Sensibility.org.
Sensibility.org. Some great advice there. Thank you so much. We'll be back with more right after this.